What's poppin', Jimbo? It's Jesus. You're not used to this kind of video, are you? I mainly post video game videos here, so it's not often I make videos like this. I did some thinking, and seeing as I'm already on my 10th journal, I figured it's time I take you guys on a trip to memory lane and pretty much give you guys a tour of how writing has affected my life. You know, from the past to the present, facts and trivia, little secrets, things you've never even noticed before. It's only right to start from where it all began, right? Correct. Let's hop right in. In the beginning months of 2015, during my 8th grade year, April to be exact, I noticed a small green journal. It was my mom's. I asked her if I could have it, and she said yes, since she never wrote anything in there. As I held the journal in my hands, I grabbed a pencil, sat at the kitchen table, and was like, I'm gonna write some super awesome stuff in this thing. And before my pencil even hit the paper, I was just like, no. So yeah, I thought about writing a story, a comic, a scientific journal, more on that later, and dare I say it, a diary. I wanted to do something new that hasn't been seen before, and I needed an idea. I didn't write anything on the day I received my journal, so the next day I took it to school. After messing around with my friend Luke in theater class, I finally figured it out. I didn't quite remember what hit it, but there's like a creative switch in my mind that was off, and in theater class it was on. So I made my writing about things that made you laugh and say, what? Because at the time and now, I love messing with smart people because it's so much fun to me. So once I wrote these first few pages, you already know what happened next. How are my ideas created? What makes me say, okay, that right there is worth writing about? Where do my theories originate? What is a good theory to me? How long does it take to start and finish a journal? Whoa! Slow down. Don't overwhelm yourself with questions. One at a time. Let's consider everything that goes into a theory. There's the original concept, how I'm going to present and prove it, evidence, brainstorming responses to questions and comments I know I'll get. Quiz time! How long do you think it takes to make a quality theory? Do you think it's A, 1 day, B, 10 minutes, C, a few days, or D, a week? The answer is C, a few days. Doesn't that sound like a ridiculous amount of time for a sheet of paper? Well, it shouldn't. Making a new theory isn't always a fun and easy feat. Whenever I make a quality theory and not a theory I had on the back burner, I put time and thought into them and try to make them unique. My writing wouldn't be as good without my theories. What about the actual writing of the theory? Most of it I think of after I've done enough research to call it a day. All of the jokes I come up with are usually written down after I envision the exact way I want my theory to look as it will be presented. It is a writing rule to never stray from your topic, so all the jokes I put in the theories have some relevance to the topic. There is more to talk about, so stay tuned. I'm going to consider the past few months to present. When I wrote my very first journal, I was unsure if writing more journals would be the thing I wanted to do once I finished, but we all know that changed. After the summer of 2015, I ended up getting a second journal, and even a few months later, a new journal would join my collection. I garnered a lot of recognition for my writing. I literally felt like a celebrity at school, which is nice. In around October of 2016, I let someone besides me write a page in my journal. Because they were my biggest fan at the time, I wanted to repay them in some way. Little did I know, Abby would write a fantastic chapter in my journal, and now they write in my journal every here and there. I had 2 journals in 2015, and that number increased by 4 in 2016 and 4 again in 2017. That's phenomenal to me. I never expected any of that, to be completely honest. All because of a silly little green notebook I wrote. So, in the current time, what are my favorite journals? Number 10, Journal 1, number 9, Journal 5, number 8, Journal 2, number 7, Journal 9, number 6, Journal 4, number 5, Journal 7, number 4, Journal 6, number 3, Journal 8, number 2, Journal 10, number 1, my summer journal, son? let's move on, shall we? There is a lot more to my journals than meets the eye. The first few didn't have very much secrets, but all of my journals have secrets you don't even know about. Also, some things that have happened while writing. Of course, I don't have flawless memory, but here's everything we're talking about. My favorite joke from my first journal was I went to a restaurant by a train with a DVD player because my crocodile couldn't play CDs. Okay, look, I laughed at that joke because I didn't think about it in a while, but anyway, let's move on. Okay, look, I teased the second journal and my first journal on the ending pages, but at the time I was still unsure. I thought about it for a few hours and made my final decision a week later. I was about to call my journal series Abby and Blue Horse's Inside Story and Knuckles, but that title was way too long. Journal 1 earned me a box of half a dozen donuts that was given to me by a friend, Zoe, once it was completed. You can find nearly every single page of Journals 1 and 2 on the Notes app on my phone. The end result of it was abridged. Journal 2 took about 3 months to finish. I would have finished it sooner if I wasn't writing another journal at the time. My favorite ever joke from any of my journals is in Journal 2, and it is, I like to call these thirsty hoes H2 hoes. Ever since Journal 2, if you look hard enough, you can find a corpse of an insect in my journals. I don't know if insects love reading what I write about, but yeah, that's in there. Journal 3 was actually sharing half of the pages with notes from health class. I was using a divider to tell which part of the journal I was writing in. Journal 3 and 5 were the only two journals that had the most offensive humor in them. Also, John helped me write Journal 3, so thanks, matey. The quickest journal to write was Journal 3, only taking 2 months. Journal 4 is the only journal with 0 jokes in it and is the shortest journal to date. There isn't really much to cover on this topic, so I'm just going to move to the next journal, so yeah, sorry for the disappointment. I spent an hour drawing this thing. I also spent 2 hours drawing this thing, and several more on this thing. There was also a comic strip in Journals 5 and 6 called Kaplawa Dinkles. It was a comic that had 9 issues and was mostly focused on my favorite kind of humor, dark humor. You can find several short and full songs in Journal 5. Journal 6 is a journal that earned me my trigger phrase. What was the first journal to have scientific theories, you ask? Journal 6. My creativity was at an all-time high in 6 and 8. Prior to this, I had never come up with a single theory ever. I'll put up some gaming footage here so I can talk about why and how I came up with my first theory. Low on ideas one day and I needed something funny to write about. And all of a sudden, How to Fix Global Warming was born in Journal 6 and expanded upon in Journal 7. I was criticizing the sun for knowing that a tsunami would attack Japan, and the sun warned no one and let it happen. Then I said that you can just blow up the sun and replace it with a global solar power flashlight. If you don't see what's wrong with that, play that back and listen to it closely. This journal was also the first journal to have invisible ink pages. You're not the only person to realize what this actually looks like. Like 6, Journal 7 also has invisible ink pages. Journal 7 is home to my 2 most iconic theories, one about global warming and another about no gravity in India. Out of all of my journals, Journal 8 has the most theories per page and to me is my funniest journal. And the longest journal to write was 9, taking almost the entire school year. I've stopped writing in it because it has like a permanent smell of deodorant and there's only so much of a fresh smell you can take before you lose your mind. And Journal 10. Journal 10 is the exact same size as Journal 1. Journal 10 is also the first journal with the bookmark on it. Six journals that are not a part of the main journal lineup. They are the next gen journals. I used them to write about jokes that didn't make the cut into Journal 10. Another is used for my comic, one was used to stalk a friend, that's not important. Another is blank because I have yet to figure out what to do with it. One I used to test my drawing skills, and one is just a gift from a friend that I used to write about my school's history. In select journals, the first page has signatures. This is to compensate for being too broke to buy an actual yearbook. I'm struggling, fam. Without Abby and Magnet, every journal after 5 would not have existed, because in summer 2016, I just thought about giving up because at that time it was just too much work. As I've mentioned, my writing has been recognized, and you almost never see me without a journal. So much so that everyone that knows me knows about my journals. Tens of people know about them. Of course, not everyone who's read my journals is a fan, and that's understandable. Everybody's gonna hate you no matter what you're doing. But that doesn't stop me from writing. At the end of the day, I have too many people that like my writing for me to stop. So, I won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Thank you all so much for reading my writing. Well, I've covered not every secret, but definitely the majority of them. I hope you learned a lot about my journals and will continue to read them as time goes on. When will we see another video like this? I don't think that can be predicted right now. At least now you know where my ideas come from. That's all I have, and I will see you all next time.